But what should not be lost while we're talking about who else cried? You know, I was sitting with a group of radio announcers ahead of the final. And it was interesting because they were looking for somebody who could speak Sotho, and they had John Stanley for Zulu, there was Sizwe, and then there was for Radio Sonor Grense, there was Aaron Seth for Lungana Doneno, which there was Daniel Mudau. For Radio Lotus, they had Saint Musa. I mean, for all the language groups in South Africa, there was a player there. Wow. And it's something that possibly happened fortuitously and not necessarily planned. But it just goes to tell you that that team of 1996 had so much representation even at that level that all South Africans could define themselves within that team. And that is very, very important because very few cultural activities manage to achieve that.
That is crazy, though. So the man who then talked about the Rainbow Nation is now present to see that Rainbow Nation
in action,
but also bringing the success, which is, I suppose, in a different way, is what Preston was talking about with the late Solomon Sticks Marawa. You know, talking about try and take one, but take this nation, take that nation, bring it together. And guess what? That is why we call Mark Williams today the nation builder, or the nation builder. But
he calls himself.
He calls himself. We gave him the name, but you know the story.
Mark Williams.
The man who forced his way into the team as a sub. But I think as we begin to close and wrap our minds around this, Preston, maybe from your side, and would we ever be able to? Because we've got to look at the here and now and say, are we doing it the right way? Are we learning from our previous mistakes? Are we at some point going to leave this thing of saying, this coach was a local coach. No, he's useless. He must go. Bring a foreign coach. This foreign coach, he doesn't know. Bring it. Because that's how the ding-dong battle of Bafana has been. Local coach, foreign coach. Local coach, foreign coach. That's why we've got over, 22 former Bafana coaches, since our readmission.
It's like a yo-yo thing.
It's not easy, man. It's
but
not
how
easy.
Do we do it?
That family spirit that they had, I don't think it will ever happen. I don't know. But maybe if you just need someone that will just say, gents, this is the way to go. Let's try and emulate that 1996 success. It can happen, but now when you see when you bring a coach that will say to you, the national team or South Africa doesn't have players. You see, it's it's scary. It's scary when you get a coach that says South Africa doesn't have good players. It's scary. But I only hope that sanity will prevail somehow, somewhere. That our team will be revived. And it will be a team then that is not easy to beat. But like I say, I only hope that we will have someone that will say, hey.
But who's that someone? Let's try and use these 4 minutes that are left to maybe cut. Do you need strong leadership? Because again, you talked about Sticks Marawa. Then you talk about a good coach like Clive Barker. You talk about a good technical team, medical team. Doc Ramathesele is there. Who knows, understands football. The love of the game is there with him. Whether it was the late Eddie Lewis, whether Pitanyama, the late, everybody else was contributing towards the success. How do we begin?
Robbie, we did a formidable structure. For now, where we sitting, or where we seated, we just having, we don't have a structure. We got only a system, but we don't have a structure.
What's a structure?
A structure will be something that will be controlled, have a direction. Now we just all over. It's just a system. We just all over. And then when we want to start something, we say, we start, where's fish? Call fish. Where's Eddie? But structure, We got a database, we got that, we got that. We got criteria.
Maybe also the people who've been there, who have seen it all also, like Mark Fish, maybe has, you have an opinion as well of maybe.
Thank you that you said about emulating 96. I think whoever takes control needs to find their own identity. Okay, we know what's South African football. Take that, but it has to be, and Doc spoke about it, you had other coaches giving input to Clive. And Clive accepted it. He wanted it, and he needed it. Yeah. Okay, so they're ready. So for me to fix it, it's a common goal. You're probably going to ask me the same question, but you get a person that takes control and says, this is where we want Bafana to go. Yeah. This is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it. And again, it will lead to, and again, it takes, we were fortunate because we did have, no matter if we fought about finances, we had Sticks Marawa. He supported us. We would have, so he was in there. That led to then the media saw through the international friendlies playing the Simba Four Nations. I think they realized what the federation was trying to build, a team that leads into 96. So I think by the time we got to 96, yes, expectations weren't, are we going to win the tournament? But it was, let's see what happens. And each game process, I think the media got behind us. And then obviously you've got the fans that success and brings us in the stadium. So, and the fans going into the opening game again, yes, it's the opening game with AFCON, the stadium was full, however many people it takes, but it was full and they were there to watch Bafana. So it is a process and it's understanding. And I know Doc was saying earlier about, we want the fans back there. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as said as done. It takes success and fans. So you rather, again, you were saying earlier, okay, so the fans are going to watch Orlando Pirates because they're on a good run, so and they want the fans, and Sundowns and these teams. But I think then as well, we had a Sundowns, we had a Pirates, and I'm using Chiefs, and I'm using all the other teams that had players in the international team. They came to the stadium to support the national team. Yeah. It's not about them as clubs, as individuals. And I don't know if we have that anymore. And I think if we can install that, I believe we do have the players. And I believe if we do the right input into doing what we need to do to change Bafana. And Doc touched on it. Banyana are leading the way and the things that they've done. Yeah. So maybe we need to go back to drawing board and do exactly be more competitive international friendlies and just do the things the right way so that we can get in the right direction.
You know, the problem is
but maybe
our national team now is rent a player and rent a coach. That is why people, they don't come to...
No, maybe we shouldn't be that harsh. But Robert, can I just, in summary and in closing, in self-indulgence, relate to your story. After we had played England in Old Trafford in the friendly, we lost 2-1. Because now I'm there, I've never been to that kind of collecting autographs and everything. When I get to the dressing room, I find that there are 2 gentlemen who have been waiting for me. 2 gentlemen, it's a chairperson or president, I think, and CEO of Salina. Now, they had come in a private jet to come and pick up Phil Masinga after the match. They didn't want to take the risk of commercial flights. And I said, why all the trouble? The whole, they said, no, we've got a key, because he was playing for Salina Tana, who in the 2nd division then. And they were playing a crucial match for promotion. They said, this is our key player. Now, I was wondering, but I said, but Masinga only scored 6 goals that year. They said, we didn't sign him for the goals. We signed him for his ability to hold the ball and to invite attack. Now, when we recruited Masinga, and I'm saying this specifically because I want to make a point. Sure. When we recruited Masinga at Cosmos with Roy Matthews and Johnson, we didn't sign him for his ability to do all of that. He was a boy who could just hit the ball, who could head and pack a big shot on both legs. The Italians, the English where he played, the Spaniards where he played, they had developed him into a player using scientific methods, using nutrition, using various training methods to build him into a player that in Italy, where we know that football is very physical, he could hold the ball and play the physical match. Football has become very scientific. And we as South Africans need to be alive to that. It's good for players to put in those vests now that we see inside that collect data, but it is what do we do with our data, how we develop our players. I used to work at Deep Cliff Clinic and would wake up every Wednesday to watch a school called Namedi, which was close by. And the whole township would come out and watch Lindabuthelezi, because Lindabuthelezi is still one of the most skillful players you can ever have. Put him in a tight space, you see. But a lot of people don't know that, because he had been developed into a total footballer who was skillful but could use his skill in the right places. Had the main tackle, main pass, and everything else. We need to begin to understand that we have naturally talented players, but we need to involve playing coaching prowess, coaching knowledge, train our coaches, put in scientific concept to build South Africans into a competitive force.
So the modern day game is different, and I suppose that's why the likes of Abo Rulani Mkwena will call themselves the technocrats of the game, because they're collecting different data. They're understanding the opposition. You talk about the physical presence, using nutrition. Spepel went to Portugal. He is a different specimen to when he left Ulundi to what he is now. But he was overlooked.
My point exactly.
But he was overlooked so many times. They parked him for 9 months, feeding him, training him before they could even give him a ball to play. But you look at him now, always on the back page of the Portuguese newspapers each and every week, because that is how great he plays. But he's from here. But a lot of people won't know that.
In closing, why need to rent a player and rent a coach? We play in France. A coach is not worried about the game and I'm a player. I put my cell phone. They're worried about myself.
No, but let's build. Let's build. Asake.
Assistant coach, assistant coach. People are Cyprus.
Let us build. Let us be constructive. We know we've got the talent. We know we are lagging behind in certain areas, but we've got skillful players. We need, and there's a way of coaching a South African player. Oprah said about, boy, you don't have me. So you have to talk about So there's a way also of coaching a South African player. And if you work with Clive Barker and other international coaches, you will know and understand. All I'm saying, we can no longer be insular. We need to be outward looking. We are a global sport. We are a global product. We need to evolve with the game as well. 100%. But we've got something to offer as South Africans. One-on-one, tight spaces, good passes, good runs, finishing. Those are the things that come natural to us. But there's still a lot about football that we need to teach ourselves, where we need development. And even if it's development that comes from outside, to finish this product. But we need to start it early.
But I suppose as we thank everybody, what Bajans has said, Mark, Doc has said, including yourself, Preston, is important. We shouldn't lose track of the strength of Abo Simba 4 Nations tournament. 100%. We shouldn't lose sense of, I remember very young, Kamokhelo Makocho was captaining the Denon team, under 12s, that went to play. They met Zinedine Zidane as a young little boy like that. And from there, under 20 that was active. From there, under 23 that was active. They went to play against Brazil. Kenny Ndazi was on the bench. Shakes was relegated to the grandstand. But still, what do they do in that very historical game against Brazil is what we need to do. But now, we remember under 23 is when it's quick qualification for the Olympic Games, and it's not often. And we did a lot, the continuity from there to the senior team. So I leave to thank your guests that have come.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I don't know how much I can say to you, Mark. Thank you very much for just eating that call. Hey, please join us, and we are here. Thank you very much, Mark. I know you are late now. Thank you, Dog.
Anytime.
Thank you. Thank you, Machance.
Madimesh.
Skillful and handsome.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rob.
But let's get this out of the way, Pastor. Jomosono,
Professor
Ngubane. Who was the best?
I want to out there. Yes, Uga shy goal is now. I'll share against him. 1 or 2 of our players, Mam Shai is
I'm never being Kunzmaga. Angazi nomjomani na beyinkunzi kodwa malanga benga uzothi beyinkunzi lo benga nalo leli lundi